So we started with parallelograms yesterday, but it's going to be in your assignment today. So please make sure you write this down and draw an example. This is where sometimes they'll give you 3 lengths, but you need to make sure when you do your area, you use base times the height. And don't forget, the base has to be perpendicular to your height. It has to have that box. It has to. Unless it tells you it's like a square, then you know that's part of the shape. You have to see that. Once you see that, you know that's the base, that's the height. So let's just say they gave you numbers like 8 and 16. And that's 12. You're using only the ones that are perpendicular, so it'd be 8 and 16. Why? Because they have the box right there that I already circled. So your area would be 8 times 16. Put that in the calculator. I don't have a calculator. 80, but it'd be 148? No, 124? Right? Yep. Square inches. Okay, I'll give you a minute to write that down, then we're going to do triangles. I haven't shown you triangles, but I wouldn't be surprised if you already knew how to do triangles already. Before the 2? That's the only 2 I see. Yep, square inches. If it doesn't give you the units, like here I said it's inches, then it would be units, square units. Alright, so that's a parallelogram triangle. Okay, so for the triangle, again, it has to be base times height. But for a triangle, it's going to be base times height divided by 2. Because 2 triangles would form a parallelogram. So that's your area of a triangle. Here are a couple of examples that you might see. Let me get this one perfect. That's not a very good marker. So here are 2 examples of the triangles. Again, it has to be perpendicular, the base and the height do. So you're looking for the box. So here, this would be the box right here. So this would be your base, this would be your height. Those 2. Why? Because it has the box. So for this one, it would be 4 times 3 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6, so your area would be 6 square inches. So on this one over here, here's the box, there's your base, there's your height. Not the 5. The 5 has nothing to do with it. That's actually the slant height. We don't need it. We need the ones that are perpendicular. So that would be 4 times 6 divided by 2, 24, 12 square inches. That would be your area. I'm going to do an example where they give you the area and you have to go back to get the height. Any questions on area before I move on? I'll take off the headphones and stop recording. Just a minute. Okay, so example 3. Let's say the area that they tell you in the problem is 30 square inches. They will tell you in the problem, Excel will say the area is blah, blah, blah. Find the height or the base. And then they'll say the base is, let me make up something real quick, 5. We'll say 5 inches. And they'll tell you find the height. So you're working backwards. So instead of finding the area, they're already giving you the area in the problem. So you have to work backwards. So you would write out the area, same formula, base times height, divided by 2. I know my area is 30. So instead of writing A, I put 30. My base is 5. So instead of putting B, I put 5 times my height, divided by 2. There's a little bit of algebra involved. You can solve it by hand, you can remember the steps, or you could use and solve in your calculator if you still are really stuck and don't know how to do it. You put that in there, type in x, comma x. I can show you how to do it. So if you want to work it backwards, then since it's being divided by 2, the first thing you would do, I'm going to do it in purple so you can see the steps hopefully. You would multiply by 2. Both sides by 2, you're working backwards. The last step is usually dividing by 2, Jason, so the backwards step would be first to multiply by 2. So, oh my goodness, that's Marlon. Alright, so you would put 60, because 2 times 30 is 60, equals 5 times your height. Going backwards, instead of multiplying, we're dividing. Divide both sides by 60 divided by 5 is 12, so your height is 12. So again, you could do it algebra. You can remember, okay, I'm just solving for h. You could work backwards and say, okay, my last step was divide, so my first step is going to be the backwards multiply. I did multiply when I find area, so I do the backwards divide. Or like I said, if that's very confusing, no big deal. You'll put this in a calculator for insolve. If you forgot how to do insolve, I'll walk you through it in just a minute.